too many women go through life apologizing for simply being who they are. They shrink themselves, soften their edges, and make themselves small so that others feel more comfortable. And let's be honest, this isn't something we're born with, it's something we're taught. Society has conditioned women to believe that being strong, assertive, or ambitious is somehow too much, that speaking up might make others uncomfortable, that wanting more means being selfish. But here's the truth. Every time you apologize for who you are, you send a message to the world that you are less important, that your needs, dreams, and voice are secondary, and that stops today. Let me ask you something. Have you ever apologized for sharing your opinion in a meeting, even though you knew you were right? Have you ever said sorry before asking for what you deserve? A raise, a break, some help? Have you ever felt the need to soften your words, your tone, your personality, just so others wouldn't label you as difficult? If you're nodding right now, you're not alone. Women everywhere have been programmed to believe that being likable is more important than being respected. But guess what? The women who change the world, the women who break barriers, the women who live life on their terms, they don't apologize for being who they are. They don't dilute their ambition, their intelligence, or their power just because someone else might find it intimidating. Think about it. If you keep playing small, if you keep putting other people's comfort above your own potential, where does that leave you? Stuck, overlooked, exhausted. And the worst part, you start believing the lie that you're not enough as you are. That if only you were nicer, quieter, easier, then maybe you'd be accepted. But let's be real. The people who expect you to shrink, they'll always want you to be smaller, no matter how much you adjust. So here's what needs to happen. You stop apologizing. Right now, you stop saying sorry, but before you state your opinion. You stop apologizing for taking up space in a conversation, in a room, in a relationship. You stop apologizing for having standards, for knowing what you want, for setting boundaries. You stop apologizing for your success. How many times have you downplayed your own accomplishments so you wouldn't seem boastful? How many times have you said, oh, it was just luck, or it wasn't a big deal, when in reality you worked your ass off for it? Own it, every bit of it. Confidence isn't arrogance. It's self-respect. And when you respect yourself, the world will start respecting you too. But that only happens when you decide that your voice, your presence, and your dreams are just as valid as anyone else's. And let's be clear, this doesn't mean you become rude or inconsiderate. It means you recognize that being direct and assertive doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you someone who values herself. And if that makes some people uncomfortable, that's on them, not you. The next time you catch yourself apologizing for something you don't need to apologize for, stop, take a deep breath, rephrase. Instead of saying, sorry, I just wanted to ask, say, I have a question. Instead of sorry, but I think, say, I believe. Instead of sorry, I can't make it, say, I won't be available. Language matters. The way you speak about yourself matters. And the moment you start owning your words, your presence, and your power, you realize something incredible. People will start treating you differently. They'll start listening. They'll start respecting you, not because you demanded it, but because you stopped giving them permission to overlook you. You are not too much. You are not too opinionated. You are not too ambitious. You are exactly as you're meant to be. And the sooner you embrace that, the sooner you start living the life you actually want. So from today forward, you walk into every room like you belong there because you speak up without apologizing, because your voice matters. And you stop asking for permission to be yourself because you never needed it in the first place. Boundaries are not just important, they are essential. They are the invisible lines that separate you from everything that drains, manipulates, or takes advantage of you. Without boundaries, you are a doormat. Without boundaries, you will constantly feel exhausted, unappreciated, and stretched so thin that you forget who you even are. The problem is that most women are conditioned to believe that setting boundaries makes them selfish. Society has taught women to be agreeable, to always say yes, to be the ones who keep the peace. You've probably been told that good women are the ones who sacrifice, who never complain, who put everyone else first. But let's get one thing straight. There is nothing noble about burning yourself out for people who wouldn't do the same for you. If you don't set boundaries, people will take as much as you allow them to, and it's not always intentional. Sometimes it's just human nature. If you're always the one who says yes to every request, people will keep asking. If you're always the one who picks up the slack, they will let you. If you never say no when you need to, the world will assume you don't have a limit, but you do. And the longer you ignore that, the more resentment builds up. Here's what you need to understand. Setting boundaries is not about pushing people away. It's about protecting your peace. It's about making sure that you are not the last person on your own priority list. And it's about recognizing that every time you say yes to something that drains you, you are saying no to something that could empower you. Let's talk about what this actually looks like. Because for a lot of people, the idea of boundaries is great in theory, but terrifying in practice. You might be thinking, what if people get upset? What if they think I'm rude? What if they stop liking me? And I get it, disappointing people is uncomfortable. But here's the thing. You are not responsible for managing other people's reactions to your boundaries. Your only responsibility is to make sure that you're not betraying yourself just to keep others comfortable. So how do you start? You begin by identifying where your energy is leaking. Ask yourself, where in my life do I feel constantly drained? Who are the people that leave me exhausted after every interaction? What commitments do I say yes to that I secretly resent? Once you have answers to those questions, you take action. You start saying no without over-explaining. You start limiting your time with people who only take from you but never give back. You start protecting your schedule so that you're not overcommitting and under-recovering. And yes, this will be uncomfortable at first. People who have benefited from your lack of boundaries will not be happy when you start enforcing them. They might call you selfish. They might get upset. But let me ask you this. Why is their comfort more important than your well-being? Why is it okay for you to be exhausted just so they can be satisfied? The truth is, the people who truly care about you will respect your boundaries. The ones who get angry, they were never interested in your well-being.